Have you ever worked for a leader who always seemed to have everything together? They never admitted uncertainty, never asked for help, and always had the answer. At first, it looked like confidence, but what if that behavior was quietly teaching everyone else to hide their struggles too? I realized something that blew my mind about how I think about leadership. Vulnerability doesn't spread weakness, it spreads permission. A few weeks ago, I shared one of the most personal stories I've ever written. It was about caring for my mother during the final years of her life while leading teams and trying to maintain the image that everything was just fine. I almost didn't publish it. Then something unexpected happened. More than 18,000 people engaged with this article on LinkedIn. It wasn't the numbers that stayed with me. They were nice, but what really stayed with me were the messages. Over and over again, people wrote, I thought I was the only one. That sentence changed everything. People weren't responding because my story was unique. They responded because someone finally went first. As I dug deeper into the research, I found something fascinating. Amy Edmondson's work on psychological safety shows us that teams perform better when people feel safe speaking up, admitting mistakes, asking questions, and sharing concerns. More recent research has shown that when leaders openly acknowledge their own learnings, uncertainty, or challenges, psychological safety increases because employees feel it's safe to do the same. Think about that. The performance that every organization wants, innovation, collaboration, better decisions, learning, they all begin with one thing: people feeling safe enough to be honest. For years, I believed leadership meant carrying everything myself. I thought by carrying that weight of pressure, responsibility, and answers meant I was protecting the team, shielding them from what I was experiencing. Now I think the opposite is true. Every leader teaches people what is acceptable, not through the policies, but through their own behaviors. If leaders never admit they're overwhelmed, their teams learn that overwhelm isn't safe to discuss. If leaders don't ask for help, the employees assume that asking for help is weakness. If leaders always pretend to have the answers, people stop admitting when they don't know. Culture isn't built by what leaders say, it's built by what leaders consistently model. And that's why I now believe one simple idea. Every time a leader chooses vulnerability over perfection, they give everyone around them permission to be human. So, before your next meeting, ask yourself this question: what behavior am I modeling today? Am I teaching people to hide, or am I creating an environment where people feel safe enough to speak honestly? Because leadership isn't just the decisions you make, it's the environment that those decisions create. If today's conversation resonated with you, I created something to help. It's called the 5-Day Clarity Challenge. You'll learn how to recognize the pressures that you're carrying, interrupt automatic reactions, and create more space to think clearly before you respond. Because whether the pressure comes from work, caregiving, relationships, health, or simply the pace of life, clarity begins the moment we stop pretending we're carrying nothing. You'll find the link in the description below. And if this conversation made you think differently about leadership, I'd love to hear from you. What's one moment when a leader's honesty made you trust them even more? Leave a comment below. I read every one. And if you found this valuable, subscribe for more conversations about leadership, decision making, and maintaining clarity under pressure. I'll see you in the next episode.